Stream Elements said Ye Old Nerdcast is now live. Streaming suzerain, attempting to run my own country. Again, suzerain.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nerdcast. It is Devin broadcasting, as always, live from an undisclosed location in the center of Texas on a pretty chill Friday night. How's everybody doing out there? I wasn't initially planning on streaming. I thought I was going to try to pick up a shift, but honestly...
Arachnid Soul said hey.
Yo, what's up, Arachnid? Welcome back to the stream. How you doing? I wasn't feeling too great. Stomach is a little queasy right now.
Said evening.
Yo, what's up, Vince? Welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? Stomach is feeling a little queasy right now, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to hang it easy tonight.
Arachnid Soul said thanks. Doing well.
Happy to hear that. Happy to hear that. Aside from stomach queasiness, I'm doing pretty okay myself. Today, was a very strange day.
Arachnid Soul said have some ginger if you have it.
I think I do have some, actually. I think I do have some. Maybe I'll mix some in some water or something and take a swig later. But, yeah, it was a really weird start to the day.
If you have powdered ginger, you can make a nice tea with help your stomach.
I don't think I have it powdered, though. That's the thing. I don't have a ginger powder.
Arachnid Soul said, or just boil the ginger in the water.
Yeah, I'll figure something out. It's not the end of the world right now. Just a little discomfort, but it's all good. Oh man, I woke up to some friend drama going on right now. It was pretty intense, honestly. Not exactly how I wanted to start my day, but you know, it's got me thinking about a buddy of mine who has for years been suffering with I would say a debilitating drinking problem, but I think he's a functioning alcoholic. You know, he's able to go to work and not get fired, I guess, but everything outside of that, like, he's not in good shape, and apparently getting worse and worse about it in recent months, I suppose, and coming to a head with another friend of mine who just really led into him today. To me, I guess he's led into him to his face too several times, but I think he's just reaching his wits end, and it's really kind of a bummer. Like, I guess that's kind of putting it lightly to call it a bummer, but you know, when you've known someone for so long, and you know you're of college age, and everybody is going around drinking like a maniac and whatnot, you don't really think much of it if you kind of get used to that environment. But then, as you know, the years pass by, and a lot of those people get married and have kids and have family, and you know, for whatever reason or another, they just start to like kind of normalize their lives, you know, because we're all in our 40s now and some shit. Seeing people continue to behave in like that kind of a frat boy way is a little disturbing, honestly. Like, it's one thing to like, hey, I'm gonna go out and have some drinks, I'm gonna, you know, have some fun, I'm gonna cut loose this weekend or whatever. That's one thing. I don't have any judgment on that.
Arachnid Soul said, yeah, that's rough. Alcohol is addictive for some people.
Well, I mean, they say it's self-medication, right? Like, I feel like it started as that, self-medicating, and then developed into like maybe a chemical addiction. But there's other stuff going on too that I don't think has been properly addressed, and it's all just kind of coming to a head in a pretty disturbing manner. So having to wake up dealing with that was a little bit of a bummer. Yeah, but aside from that, it's been all right. I've got this suzerain game to check out. I've been up to my eyeballs in Oblivion Remastered off stream, honestly. So like, I was debating, you know, playing that here tonight again.
Becky said there was a point in my life that for a time I was drinking a fifth of vodka a day.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Like, when I do drink, I can go through it too, for sure. I mean, I'm a big dude. It takes, unless I'm drinking on an empty stomach, which I don't recommend. Excuse me.
Arachnid Soul said, I was never a big drinker. I haven't had a drink in 6 years, and before that if I had 3 in a year it was a lot for me.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's preferably the way to go. I drink when I hang out with my friend, when I go over to her house and we watch movies and stuff, and I'm hanging out on the couch with the dogs.
Becky said, now I just have 4 beers on a weekend day.
Yeah, I don't even drink. Like, I have some hard, fast rules. I don't drink while the sun's up. I don't really drink at my house. I never really have alcohol here.
Arachnid Soul said, I'm a weed guy.
Yeah, what's that called? LA sober or California sober or something like that? Honestly, I would kind of prefer if my buddy switched to that track, really.
Arachnid Soul said I don't do any drugs people overdose and die from. Simple rule.
It's a good rule to have.
Street Corner Becky said I tried switching to weed. I was way less functional.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's also kind of a trade-off too, right? Like it seems like you do have to find the right strain.
Street Corner Becky said that and it's way more expensive.
Yeah, I guess that too.
Arachnid Soul said at Street Corner Becky it introduced yourself to yourself. Also you have to start 2 tasks first before you have the weed.
I should ask my friend if she remembers what she let me smoke that one time that it actually had an effect on me. Alright, I'm gonna launch this game. Don't know how long I'm gonna stream for tonight. Guess we'll have to see how I feel towards the end, but I at least want to give this game a shot.
Street Corner Becky said also am loving MB so far. Arachnid
You know
Soul
what?
said yeah, but each strain of weed is different and does different things.
I actually I like MB's interface. Now, getting the subtitles to work seems a little clunky, but it's not undoable. It's not undoable. So I actually like the interface more than Plex. It seems to load faster than Plex does. It seems like it's I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken, but it seems like it might have the potential to be more customizable.
Becky said way faster.
Yeah, I like it too. I like it too so far. MB is the one that's open source and free, right? That's not the one that they walled off so they can charge. Do not take, wait. What if I decline? Are they gonna let me play if I decline? Okay.
Street Corner Becky said MB was the OG, Jellyfin is the fork, MB has paid features but it's not for features we care about. Street Corner Becky said like expanding how many devices can connect.
Okay, I see. Wait, it has paid features. Who do you pay then? I thought it was like open source. Let's go with DevBo. Republic of Swordland. Government. I'll tell you right at the top, I don't know anything about this game. I'm guessing fictional. None of this looks like any country I recognize. It kind of seems vaguely Eastern European, but like the geography of it looks like...
It was originally open source but they closed it so the devs could actually profit since it was a small team, hence the Jellyfin fork. Arachnid Soul said I've thought about getting this game.
Oh wait, so MB is the paid and Jellyfin is the free, is the open source free then, huh? The geography of this kind of looks like Eastern
Street Corner
Asia.
Becky said yeah.
Okay, well I hope that MB doesn't turn to sucking shit. That's always the suspicion now. Like, at some point down the line, MB's gonna be like, hey, we've decided to charge $12 a month per user, per user access.
Had Crusader Kings 3 vibes, so I figured it would be a good game. CK3 is one of the best games you can play if you don't mind being confused early on. Arachnid Soul said also know what you'll never know everything about the game. No one understands it all. Lol.
Well, I'm sure I'll be plenty confused at the start of this one. Presidential Republic. Population 37 million. Economy in recession. Hey, that's where we're heading. Let's get ready.
Becky said the coolest feature of MB Emo is if you download the app on the same LAN as the server, it auto connects.
Oh, nice. Regional influence, major power, starting date 1954. Anton Rain has been elected the 4th president of Swordland amidst a deep recession, demands for reform and external pressure. Torpor mode enabled. This mode disables manual saving and enables achievements. You can turn it off after completing the story once. Okay, interesting. All right, let's see what this is all about. Oh, damn it! I was trying to snooze that ad. Oh well. You are my enslavement and my freedom. You are my flesh burning like a raw summer night. You are my country, Nazim Ketran. 1908, Kingdom of Swordland. You open your eyes to this world. You come from a wealthy family, a middle-income family in the city of Holdsword, an impoverished family in the city of Deer, a wealthy family in the city of Lockhaven. I'm gonna come from modest beginnings. Impoverished city in Dare. Your parents named you Anton. As the only child of a farmer, you spend your childhood among the wheat fields. Life was not easy. You were too poor to afford a good education. The Rain family was caring regardless of the economically dire situation. Your parents always did their best. The years passed. During a history class at school, the bell started to ring unexpectedly.
Arachnid Soul said at Ye Old Nerdcast, this is going to be a good year for you. New job. Like a rebuilding year. I think you said you were thinking about joining a boxing gym last year.
Yeah, that was the plan. Still is the plan. I just have to... This new job I have has me commuting to work daily. It's not remote or hybrid like my last job. So, I would like to see if there's any boxing... Actually, I know there is. I know there's a boxing gym relatively close to where the office is. So I may actually go join that and then try to form a routine where I go boxing after work. If I'm not, too fucking exhausted. But we'll see. I don't know about... I mean, half the year's almost half... Well, I guess it's not. I'm being over-exaggerating here.
Soul said there's lots of boxing stuff in TX everywhere.
We're just starting the 5th year, so I can't say, or 5th month rather, so I can't say we're halfway done, but we're almost at the halfway year.
Is the start of the year really?
I guess maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, generally speaking, the environment in which we find ourselves in is not pointing towards positive directions. For the country at large. So if my individual experience is an outlier from the rest of the world, the rest of the country, then that'll be unique. So far, Q1 has not proven has proven to not be any kind of special outlier in that regard. So we'll see. I'm glad that you feel that way. I thank you for the encouragement. But I'm still carrying a hefty dose of skepticism with my head on a swivel moving forward, so we shall see. And yeah, there's a lot of boxing. I mean, there are several boxing gyms in Austin. I actually went to the one that's close to where my new office is, and it was pretty neat. So maybe I'll join that one after all. During a history class at school, the bell started to ring unexpectedly. You heard a loud commotion outside. As everyone tried to figure out what was going on, the principal announced the historic revolution. The kingdom was no more. The Republic of Swordland was born. You did not fully understand. You were happy that you had the day off. You were somewhat worried. I say I was happy. Of course I'd be happy to have the day off. After graduating, you passed the university exam with high marks. Even though your family was poor, the public education system made it possible to go to university. You had the opportunity to choose between several studies. You choose law at the Whole Sword State University, economics at the Lock Haven Business School, or history at the Dare University of Culture. I'm going to go into economics. During the first year, you attend a lecture with David Weisky, your teacher and mentor from university. He is the son of the first president of Swordland, the revolutionary Artur S. Weisky. He was a well-known diplomat from the foreign ministry and the son of the president. After observing the hall in silence, he explained why a market economy is the better option for Swordland. He argued for a system where prices for goods and services are determined by the open market. Oh, you agree in principle? You question what you were being taught? Your only concern was passing the exam. I'm gonna question that shit. Soldiers entered the campus in the evening ahead of the first election. Many were in shock. This is 1927, May 22nd. Many were in shock as the uniformed men created a security cordon and started arresting the teachers. A group of students started gathering in protest along with your best friend, Peter Vectern. You decided to, Peter, your best. Okay. Thank you for the tooltip. Along with your best friend, Peter Vector, your best friend. Okay, said that right there. Protest with the students, avoid confrontations. I'm going to protest. One of the officers made a loud announcement that echoed through the campus. General Lutheran declared martial law. Lutheran, the nationalist general who led a military coup and declared martial law in 1927. In order to restore the administration, please stand back and disperse to your rooms. You join the students that slowly marched towards the large group of soldiers. Suddenly, the soldiers charged. A student fell and was trampled as everyone started running away. You held your ground, you ran off. I'm gonna stand my ground. The soldiers beat you relentlessly. It was a gloomy year. Yeah, that sounds like a gloomy start to the year, I guess. Getting the shit beat out of you by soldiers. 1927, October 10th. The majority of the students and teachers displayed their opposition. Thus, Lock Haven became a target for the military regime. You didn't want to stay idly and decided to join a human rights group, 1, a human rights group, 2, a student council, or 3, a political debate group. Political debate group. The dozens of debates helped you hone your oratory skills while also helping you grow your network. Even though the discussions between different groups often became heated, you all grew from sharing ideas. In one of the meetings, Peter Vector, your best friend, introduced you to a classmate of his, Monica, the love of your life. You were immediately attracted to her intelligence, her beauty, her diligence. Diligence, huh? Let's say diligence. She mentioned to you that she was a volunteer for the Swordish League of Women, an organization campaigning for women's rights. You, 1, told her you wholeheartedly supported her cause. 2, weren't particularly interested in women's rights, but asked her to dinner nonetheless. Let's go with 2. Like, women's rights, whatever. Hey, broad, why don't we go grab a sausage somewhere? The politically charged environment led you to 1, join the Red Youth, the Socialists, 2, join the Young Swords, the Nationalists, 3, stay away from any political organization. I'm gonna join the Red Youth. The radio relayed that the communist general Rickard, the communist general who led an attack in 1928 against the General Lutheran's military coup, surrounded Lutheran, the martial law guy, and his troops demanding their surrender. They refused and heavy fighting broke out across the country. You couldn't believe it. The army was fighting amongst themselves. Swordland plunged into chaos. This is 1928. Rickard's sudden attack caused more instability in the country, but compared to the fascist Lutheran, he was a real socialist. This convinced you to participate in a support march. You were chanting, Freedom, equality, solidarity. Workers of the world unite. Bring down the fascists. Well, I'm for all three. I'm going to say workers of the world unite. You are marching under the protection of Ricard's soldiers. The students supporting Lutheran's coup gathered a few hundred meters in front of you. Many nationalists were among them. You knew something was going to happen. Well, I mean, I already got the shit beat out of me by soldiers the last time. I may as well take it to the hilt. There was a massive clash between the two sides. Soldiers began to beat the students. Tanks started rolling forward. In this chaotic moment, you saw a young girl about to get run over by a tank. You ran to save her. Oh no. Is this where I become like a crippled leader? Am I going to be like an FDR in a wheelchair if I do this? I mean, I could try to Captain America. I have a feeling the warning isn't going to be heard. What if I get run over by the tank and it just says game over? But you couldn't reach her in time. Okay, well, it seemed like that was going to be an inevitable conclusion, possibly. The clashes escalated into a full-blown civil war. The horrors made you isolate yourself for a while. Monica helped you cope, and love grew between the two of you. However, it was a difficult time for love. The chaos had to end. So that was 1928. 1929, the Republic of Swordland. The charismatic Colonel Tarquin Saul, president of Swordland, the famous colonel who reestablished the Republic in 1929, orchestrated a sudden attack on the capital where the Ludinist and the Ricardist forces were battling each other. He defeated both, ending the war. A new constitution was written and the military government began efforts to restore stability. Many people saw the colonel as a savior. He formed the United Swordland Party and ran as a presidential candidate. In the first ever single party elections, you voted for United Swordland Party, or you didn't vote. I mean, that's my option. I mean, it is a single party election then, huh? So you either vote or you don't. I'm just going to not vote. USP won the election, established in 1929 by Colonel Tarquin Saul. United Swordland Party is the governing party in Swordland. Won the election by a large majority. The military government announced a 4-year restoration period to transform to an entirely civilian government. After graduation, you kept seeing Monica. You were both interested in marrying and starting a family. However, a letter arrived from the military calling you to fulfill your compulsory service. It's time to serve your nation or national duty. 1930, February, the Bergia region. The devastating civil war from neighboring Wayland. The Republic of Wayland is a young and fragile republic located in the southeast Mercopa. I need that map to figure out where this is. The distinguished Major Yosef Lancia, famous commanding officer from the Swordish armed forces who you served under, ordered you to lead your squad on a border patrol mission. It was a very cold winter night when you began marching out of Gumrin Outpost. You could see your breath. After several hours of marching through the snowy hills, distant noises were heard. Visibility was too low to confirm the source, so the squad crawled forward in formation and found a spot to observe. A group of refugees had made it beyond the border fence. You escorted them back, let them slip through. Let the refugees go. After the patrol, Major Lancia arrived with anger and immediately relieved you of your command, calling you a disappointment. One of your squad members had reported your actions. After several months of scrubbing the floors as a punishment, your duties ended and you went back to civilian life. Okay. You and Monica decided to share your lives together. After receiving the blessings of her parents, a ceremony was held in Holsword, the capital of Swordland. During the same year, you worked hard to secure a high-paying job with the governing United Swordland Party. It was much more difficult to start your career on a good foot because of the refugee incident, but you still managed. The refugee incident. God damn, dude. Let a few guys through the fence and suddenly, holy shit. 1, working for the ruling party was the easiest path to power. 2, the financial compensation was too great. It was the best opportunity to change the country for the better. Always seeking power. You became the economics assistant to one of the more experienced members of the assembly. You worked long and hard, investing hundreds of pages of economic reports late into the night. You were climbing the ladder. This is 1933 now. Whew. Tarquin Sol gave amnesty to the remaining factions of the Civil War and chose de-escalation and appeasement. The institutions and symbols of the former kingdom were slowly replaced. His government launched several new initiatives, such as a citizen-funded bills program to revitalize the economy, a social labor initiative to help rebuild and improve society, and a large dam project to solve the energy crisis. The first multi-party election in the history of Sorlin were held. President Tarquin Sol was elected once more. 34. The new 5-year plan and subsequent financial work put you under a lot of pressure, but your significant contribution to the economic strategy triggered an invitation to meet President Tarquin Sol himself, who offered you a key position. You were to become the youngest member of Assembly. You accept it right away. You accept it with doubts. 1938. Rising career. June. As the youngest MP, it was difficult to connect with your influential inner circle. You needed allies, so you brought on Peter, your best friend, as your right-hand man. The birth of your son, Frank, your son, provided brief moment of joy and relief. You sacrificed work to spend time with your family, sacrificed family time to improve your position in the party. I hang out with my family. During your absence, Peter found trustworthy contacts and strengthened your position in the party. At the same time,
Corner Becky said a while back, I was watching a live video showing people walking from Central America to California. Supposedly, the live chat were just the most hateful people who didn't even realize it was just an 18-minute video on a loop that was there just to rile them up.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people like that. At the same time, President Sol increased his authority over the years. His growing ego started to cause strife within the USP.
Sol said that's pretty funny.
The cracks began to show. 1945. Oh man, we're just burning through the years here. President Sol barely secured a majority in the election against the opposition leader. Over the next year, Swedish people grew increasingly discontent with corruption and the worsening quality of life. Economic growth was slowing down. Meanwhile, calls for a united Sortland Party Congress became louder as a leadership struggle started to brew. You, 1, watched from the sidelines. 2, kept supporting the president. 3, joined the internal opposition. Let's go. Let's revolt. Let's rebel. You gave your support to Edward Alfonso, a reformist businessman who had become the leader of the reformist wing of the United Sortland Party. A reformist and talented business magnate who was the main contender for party leadership. Meanwhile, in a desperate effort to secure votes before the Congress...
These people getting riled up were not Native Americans.
Oh, no, of course not. Of course not. I actually saw... I retweeted this, actually. It's pretty funny. It's borderline nonsensical, but I think only because the dude's fucking British. Or English, or whatever you want to say. So there's this tweet. Well, the only way to do that, he's responding to this guy.
Street Corner Becky said hope, likely just a bunch of Midwesterners.
No word from me if you're no wordplay from me.
Becky said nope.
No wordplay from me. If you're here illegally, you should be deported. He goes, well, in all caps. Well, the only way to do that is army. Send for them and the military police. France should do the same. Such a gracious shithole where it was such a beautiful country. I snapped a rough sleeper blocking the delivery of Boots Chemists on Friday. I don't know what any of that fucking means. WTF, not on. Clean the streets. And then this guy tweeted, they caught one in the wild. And this is actually the tweet. This is the tweet that I just read. This dude was, I get at a library, actually responding to that, typing, and that, I mean, this is literally the tweet that I just read. And of course, I mean, What the fuck? Why isn't this thing going back? Oh my god, Twitter video is the worst. I mean, come on. Come on. Come on. Not to body shame, but come on, man. There's an archetype for this type of poster. There's an archetype for the types of people who would sit on an 18-minute loop and rant and rage about immigrants, right? Like, come on. I can't say that I was surprised that this poster fit the archetype, but I was surprised that they actually managed to catch him in the wild. Like, this dude is up here posting this shit at like a public library, man. What are you doing? Like, why are you going to a fucking library to rage tweet anti-immigrant screeds or whatever on Twitter? Like, is there nothing else going on in your life? Nothing else you'd rather do outside your house than this? But, hey, that's what happens, man. These are the kinds of people. These are the kinds of people. Okay. Come on, game. Get back up there. Come on, game. What's going on here? Oops, okay. Okay, there we go. 1946, July, time of change. You gave your support to Edward Alfonso, a reformist and Italian business magnate who was the main contender for party leadership. Meanwhile, in a desperate effort to secure votes before the Congress, President Sol was meeting party members one by one. But he didn't approach you. Yeah, because I'm a fucking traitor. The Congress was nothing short of impressive. The banners of the United Sordland Party were decorating every possible spot. Thousands of influential political figures, lobbyists, and benefactors gathered for this turning point. The voting for the party leadership began. You voted for Tarkin. That'd be fucking crazy if I betrayed Tarkin Sol just to vote for him. Edward Alfonso. I mean, I don't know their positions. I'm casted to vote for one or the other. I don't know their positions. I don't know their platforms. I guess Tarkin Sol is gotten corrupted, egotistical. I guess I'll vote for... Or it's not Edward, it's Ewald, I suppose. Guess I'll vote for Alfonso. The efforts bore fruit as the contentious leadership vote was won by Ewald Alfonso. During the Congress, Tarkin Sol announced he would retire from politics at the end of his term and appointed Alfonso as vice president. You knew the structure he had established was to stay. The country had become increasingly authoritarian. You were happy that Sol was finally leaving, were troubled by the departure of Sol, didn't care about who was in charge. A month later, your daughter was born. Monica, love of your life, named her Deanna, your daughter. She motivated you during a tumultuous period in the party. As the VP and leader of the USP, Ewald Alfonso began dismantling the old organizations and structures established by the USP, such as the State Educators Corps and the Sword of State Corporation bills. The general elections were approaching. The United Sordland Party was under new leadership. You, joined the party effort and campaign for him. Did your best not to help him. No, I'll campaign for him. I've done this much for him so far. During the general year, the main opposition leader was embroiled in a sex scandal with his secretary. Oh, who cares about that in this day and age? Well, I guess in 1949 that probably would have been a big deal. He was replaced by the more popular figure, Franz Richter, but the damage had been done. The new economic policies and the extensive privatization program proposed by Ewald Alfonso secured an electoral victory for the United Sordland Party. Over the following years, you did your best in order to make Sordland better, tried all that was necessary to climb the ladder, dedicated yourself to the party and its success. One is so general and vague. Guess I'll climb up the ladder. The presidency of Alfonso saw many bold reforms in government and law and advancements in liberal democratic values. He valued your support throughout. However, due to infighting and disorganization, contentious economic tensions, and fast-track privatization, it was followed by a severe economic recession. Yeah, that's what happens. I'm not a privatization person. The other parties announced their bids for the 1953 elections, but the unfair election system hampered opposition efforts to campaign. You, 1, thought your party could not survive another crisis. 2, were worried about the economic recession. 3, worried that your reputation would be tarnished along with Alfonso. Worried about the recession. With Peter's help, your presence in the USP grew. The two of you worked long nights together. He flipped opponents to your side. You became the face of the new wing of the party. Step by step, with adequate planning, your wing took over leadership as President Alfonso lost control of the country. The moment to make a move had come. You, 1, blamed Alfonso for the crisis on television. 2, bribed and extorted Alfonso's inner circle. 3, advised Alfonso to step down. Okay, this is more extreme. I could either go the Trump route by going on TV and lambasting this dude. I can go the Clinton route by just bribing people. I guess that would be the Mitch McConnell route too. General corporatist route. Or I can go the weak sauce liberal route and just be like, please resign. Alfonso, it would be much better if you stepped down. So clearly it's going to be between these two. Fuck it, I'm going to go full Trump. I'm going to, even though I sided with this guy, I'm going to go on TV and be like, that guy's a total loser.
Street corner Becky said almost clips that, but I'm not.
Like, this guy's a total loser. This Alfonso. You know, he's really a problem for the country. The media backlash prompted President Alfonso to reshuffle his cabinet, but most of his inner circle, even the Minister of Development, Gus Manger, oh, there's a guy named Gus in here, the famous businessman. Why are all these fucking businessmen in here? I don't like that. I've got to route these guys. Businessman and Minister of Rural Development, who's known for his close ties with President Alfonso, abandoned him. Oh. Alfonso was removed from power by a no-confidence vote. The party eventually voted you in because of your influence. Following this, you announced that you would be running for president in the general election with Peter as your running mate. It was your turn. Elections. 1953. After visiting every city and town during the campaign, you made a speech on state television. You promised to enact democratic reforms, preserve national values. I'm going to act reforms. The people are tired of empty promises. We need fundamental change in our institutions and government. A solid, transparent democracy awaits us. Brothers and sisters, a new constitution and a new age is upon us. The broadcast ended. On election day, millions went out to cast their votes. It was time to face the truth. What if I lose the election and it just says game over? Chapter 1, President Reign. Alright, completed the prologue, so after that lengthy introduction, I guess, oh, I can customize my look. Character creator. What's with that hair? Ooh, bald. What? A president with a newsy cap? Oh, come on. Can't take that guy seriously. I might go bald. Let me see what let's see what my facial hair options are. Oh, this is the Lex Luthor. This is the old Lex Luthor. I wanted to see if I had like a full-on beard. If I could be bald with a full-on beard, but I guess not. Oh, wait, right here. Okay. I think I might go this route. Movie star. It's like Chairman Mao right there. Tuxedo. We go with that one. Background: office, tan, gold, green, maroon, red, turquoise. I kind of like this. Accessories: glasses, black glasses, brown glasses, thin glasses. Cigar? What am I, Castro? Ooh, a pipe. I'll stick with these thin glasses. Yeah, I'm sure. Election campaign promises. As Anton Rain, you have made consequential promises to the people of Swortland to gain their votes in the 1953 election campaign. Consider these commitments carefully. Economic direction. After the recent market reforms and the recession, the country finds itself stuck between two different economic systems, with indecision and turbulence causing the population to demand a direction. Promote a planned economy or promote a market economy? Let's go with the planned economy. As Anton Rain, you have... Oh, wait, hold on. I read that already. Diplomatic leaning. The global rivalries between capitalist Arcasia in the west, the monarchy of Rumburg to the north, and the communist United Contana in the east are intensifying. Swortland has the potential to align with others or lean towards neutrality. Align with the east, align with the rest, or remain neutral. So I guess Arcasia is supposed to be America. I like how north isn't even an option. They're like, we're not doing that monarchy shit. It's either the capitalists or the communists. I wish I could see the map and see how these people are situated with me. Which one borders me? Do they both border me? Guess I'll, let's see. Guess I'll align with the East then. Immigration policy. The last 5 years, Bloodish, Wezek, and Agnolian immigrants flocked to Swortland due to relaxed immigration laws enacted by former President Ewald Alfonso. As a result, these tensions are causing requests for a political solution. Toughen immigration laws or retain relaxed immigration laws. I mean, there's a fucking wide gulf between these two. I'll toughen them. The once praised public education system of the nation has suffered significant setbacks in the last decade. The lack of new schools, high student-to-teacher ratios, low teacher salaries, and even lack of classroom equipment in certain parts of the country cause massive divergences in the public education system. Boy, that sounds familiar. Oh, this is my term focus. Defense. The Swedish Armed Forces were the nation's most funded branch until the Alphonse government reduced the defense budget significantly. With the increase of saber-rattling threats looming by the north, nah. Law and enforcement. The recently culminating political tensions between the different youth groups and socioeconomic pressures between multiple classes of society is increasing the issue of law and enforcement systems. Police need help keeping up with increased crime rates. Simultaneously, judges in courts deal with an enormous growing backlog of legal cases. Health. Swortland's health system and healthcare quality have stagnated due to administrative inefficiencies, increased service demand, and an increasing divide in service quality between urban and rural hospitals. The average life expectancy has dropped significantly, with issues such as maternity deaths and disease outbreaks. So, education, defense, law and enforcement, health, or health. I mean, all of these things stem from education, in my opinion, so I'm going to focus on that. 2 weeks have passed since we won the election. And now I was about to be sworn in as the 4th president of Swortland. Thousands were watching the inauguration ceremony and cheering my name, Anton Rain. The die was cast. In the distance, the Maroon Palace stood on top of the famous Hill of Pride. I had no way of knowing what future awaited me there. Maroon Palace. Oh. Okay, so that's like the capital. Oh, man, there's a lot of lore. There's a lot of lore in this. I looked at my family. My son and daughter, Frank and Deanna, were next to Monica, my wife. Her eyes were glimmering with pride. Then I turned towards the key people who made it all possible. Of course, each individual was promised an important position in my government. I saw my previous rival and former president, Ewald Alfonso, who gave me a slight nod. Tarkan Sol was also invited, but as expected, he didn't leave his island retreat. As my thoughts slowly faded away, the reality of the situation dawned on me. Orso Hawker, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was waiting for me. Is that this guy, Orso Hawker? The time for the oath has come. I am ready. Please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will respectfully execute the office of the President of Swortland, and to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the people and the Constitution of the Republic of Swortland. You may now deliver your inauguration speech, Mr. President. It is an honor. Dear citizens of Swortland, brothers and sisters, my fellow swords. We go, brothers and sisters. The crowd looked very eager to listen to me. The idea of unity, the current situation is dire. Change and hope. I'm gonna go the Obama route on this one. This is the Obama, this is the Trump, and this is kind of like the Biden. I'm gonna go Obama on this. You, the people, have chosen. Together we will bring prosperity and reform to our nation. It is a time of hope. It is a time of change. If we stand together, we prevail. The issues that plague us are capabilities. Let's talk about the issues that plague us. We still have insufficient infrastructure, houses without electricity, without water. We have crime in our streets, unemployment with the youth, and we still have injustices in the government that plagues us. I promise you, we will stop the recession and eliminate poverty. The future awaits us. It's time to turn our faces to the east. First, we must rewrite our broken constitution from 1929. Boy, that sounds like a giant swing. Let's go for it. It's time for a united and powerful Swortland once again. Change now, not in the next decade or years, today. Let's go with that one. Hundreds of thousands cheered. They were shouting my name in unison. I felt the responsibility, the power, and the burden all at the same time. Raise fist, wave, or enjoy the moment. I'm gonna wave. I'll be congenial. I'm not gonna power trip here. I waved at the crowd, which made the people cheer louder. I took a long look at the people of Swortland to burn this moment into my memory. One of the presidential guards came by to notify me that it was time to leave. I made my way to the leading car in the motorcade. The presidential state car was a jet black Cadilla with flags of Swortland above the front headlights. Next to it, a man was holding the door. Hello, Mr. President. I still felt euphoric from the aftermath of my speech. Hearing my new title made me smile even more. If you'll allow me to introduce myself, I am Serge, your new driver. Nice to meet you, Serge. It's an honor. He respectfully bowed his head before opening the car door and gesturing inside. I entered the car. We will be heading towards the palace. The motorcade began to move. On the way, Surge proceeded to explain his duties as a driver. As minutes passed by, I found myself lost in thought again, barely paying attention to what he was saying. He suddenly gestured out the window. Isn't it a beauty? The Maroon Palace. He was right. Sunlight glinted off the palace's many maroon-colored domes. It was so bright that I had to look away. Every time I look at it, I'm reminded of my duty to this nation. It is in good hands now, so do I, Surge. It is the beating heart of the nation after all. We owe a great debt to the men who led the country from here. It's just a building, Surge. Like, dude, it's just some brick and mortar. Zip up, buddy. It's just brick and mortar. I'm not gonna crush this guy's spirit. He's having a good time. He's having a good time looking at the building. I'll just say it's in good hands now. I am sure of that, Mr. President. The car drove past the majestic gates, continued uphill to the entrance, and stopped in front of the doors. Surge got out of the car and opened the door for me. Have a great day, Mr. President. Amorgana West Corps. He referred to the famous swordish phrase from the times of revolution, a Morgana West Corps Victor Sisda, which meant morning will come, victory is close. Victor Sisda. I made my way upstairs through the extravagant corridors of the palace. Marble and engraved wooden finishes decorated the interior. My footsteps echoed in the colossal halls. The guards bowed their heads in respect as I opened the massive doors to my new office. Oh, man. Whew. It's a lot of reading. Jin Ellery. I guess I can't pull them out. I got zoom out and zoom in, but I guess I can't. Oh, wait, there we go. I have to right click to do that. Let's see where all these things are. Okay. Wait, what? There's shit that's off the map? City info. Okay. That's interesting. Got some ethnicity breakdowns going on here. That's the capital. What else do we have going on? We have Antel. Oh, I could just switch from city to city this way. But this is in a different country, though. This is Aglan? The fuck is Aglan? Let's just start here. I've got some stuff. Briefing on the current political situation. Office of the President, Maroon Palace. Briefing on the current economic situation, White Room, Maroon Palace, or Logistics Report. Start with the political situation. Peter Vectorn arrived a couple of minutes early and sat across from me. He was struggling to hold back his smile. We did it, Anton. We won. Finally, all those games we played with the media paid off. Peter's eyes sparkled. The strain of the past months had put a damper on his usual rakish charm, but today he was looking and acting more like his old self. He loosened his tie and undid the top two buttons of his shirt. Enjoying the new secretary I picked out for you? Thought you'd appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. Oh, geez, this guy is like 2 minutes onto the job and is already skeezing out. Hey, you like the new secretary I picked out for you? Thought you'd appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. It's a shame the rest of your staff aren't as easy on the eyes. Alright, Peter, calm down. He gestured to the slight paunch that protruded over his waistband. What? What is going on here, dude? But hey, back in university, did you ever imagine we would be sitting here in the Maroon Palace? We have to celebrate this great victory. Let's celebrate then. I got my hands on something special for us, an Elroy Maroon 30-year-old. We'll celebrate at the inaugural ball. Just hang in there until the evening. This is not the time to celebrate, Peter. We have work to do. Let's save it for the ball. We'll celebrate at the inaugural ball. Just hang in there until the evening. Looking forward to it. Evelyn hopes to congratulate you in person there. Good to know. It's been some time since I last saw her. I'm sure the kids would love to see their Uncle Peter for the first time as the vice president, or we'll see each other at the ball. That is great to hear. It's crazy how fast those two have grown up. You are a good father.
Street Corner Becky asks you saving Oblivion for off-stream cause of the performance?
No. Oops, damn it. There we go. No, I'm not. I played it off stream a lot today, so I'm just giving myself a little bit of a break from it. Why is story time here not enthralling to you? This is a lot of reading.
Street Corner Becky said it is.
Peter had a wistful look in his eyes. He and Evelyn had never been able to have kids of their own. During our campaign, the opposition had floated the rumor.
Street Corner Becky said I was genuinely just curious.
Oh, no, that's not the reason. I played a ton today, and was just like, I need to take a break from this. That's why I'm playing this right now, because I just want a little bit of a palate cleanser. I'll probably be playing Oblivion the next time I stream. During our campaign, the opposition had floated the rumor that he'd fathered illegitimate children during his wilder years, but had never been substantiated. The door swung open and Lucien Gallade, my chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp, bird-like features. After briefly surveying the room from wall to wall, he sat down, poured a glass of water, and opened his briefcase in a series of quick, graceful movements. Gentlemen, the tall case clock in the room struck 3 o'clock. Damn, you're exactly on time. Hello, Peter? Lucien then turned towards me. He very slightly bowed his head. Glad to see you, Lucien. Lucien, how are you? Let's not waste any time, Lucien. Proceed with the overview. As you wish, sir. Lucien spoke in soft, clipped tones that immediately drew your attention towards what he had to say. Peter and I waited for him to proceed. Let's start by evaluating our current situation. The majority of the Swordish people demand change. They are more concerned about the economy than the Constitution, but they blame the system for their problems. People are losing their trust in our democracy. Why do you think radicals like Bernard Circus? Bernard Circus, a Swordish poet, novelist, short story writer, and communist politician. He is acclaimed for his lyrical flow. Oh shit, he fucking spits on the mic with his lyrical flow. Alright, he's about to challenge me to a fucking 8-mile rap battle. And was regarded to be the leader of the Swordish avant-garde. His early writings were heavily influenced by social, cultural, and economic problems of his home city of Deer. His work earned him the description of a romantic communist. He joined the Red Youth during the Swordish Civil War and fled Swordland after the war was over, surviving the purge of Tarkin's soul. He moved to United Cantana and studied sociology at the Communist University of Kayao. There he was.
Memory Farms asks, looks like you are playing diplomacy.
Yo, what's up, Genetic Memory Farms? Welcome back to the stream. How you doing? I'm playing a game called Suzerain. There he was influenced by artistic experiments of continent poets who advocated futurism, as well as the ideological version of Malniev. I don't know what that is. Why do you think radicals like Bernard Circus are becoming more popular? Everyone's expecting us to bring the change the last government did not. Franz Richter, leader of the Reformists, believes that true change can only be accomplished by transferring some of the powers to the Assembly. I will move into the details of their demands shortly. I agree with the reformists. Our responsibility is to democratize our broken system. We need to listen to the people if we want to serve this country. If we lose power, we won't be able to execute changes we need to make for the good of the country. Let's go with 2. We need to listen to the people if we want to serve this country. That's exactly what we campaigned for, a true change that will move the country forward. We will need many allies against the old guard in the government. Mr. Richter managed to persuade many members of the assembly to give their support for drafting a new constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in number. While the reformist wing inside our party is still a minority, they could have a tripartisan majority in the assembly, especially if they unite under Friends Richter. The USP reformers aren't wrong to agree that we need change, but we should be in charge. Mr. Richter could be a potential ally in our goal to maintain a majority in the assembly. Our party must fall in line with our position. We can't have a strong divide. Our party must fall in line with our position. True, if our party fractures, it's the opposition that will benefit. The reformist demands are clear. They want to limit the president's veto powers, ensure that the Supreme Court is independent, and take away the court's right to vote on constitutional amendments. I support the reformists. We need a proper balance of power in this country. We must listen to their demands, or otherwise we are no different than the previous administration. I won't allow them to influence me. We will shape our own future. Limit the president's veto powers, ensure that the Supreme Court is independent, and take away the court's right to vote on constitutional amendments. Why is the court voting on constitutional amendments? So am I going authoritarian here? I won't allow them to influence me. We will shape our own future. I'll go with 2. I agree, we can't ignore the winds of change after all. The old guard will do its best to preserve the Constitution. Chief Justice Hawker and his allied judges have a great influence over the Supreme Court, which will be tough to break. The court also has final say over constitutional legislation. Without their approval, we cannot even change it. We'll need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly. We must break the power of the Supreme Court one way or another. I'd rather not go against them. The risks are too high. Break the power of the Supreme Court. That's a... Jesus, man. These options they're giving me are pretty drastic. And they're very vaguely written. I don't know what that means. What does it mean to break the power of the Supreme Court? Let's go with that one. Let's just see what happens. I agree, they have too much power over sordid politics. We need to take away their vote in constitutional legislation. It is absurd that they get to vote for bills when they aren't even elected. That's what I was saying. Looks like we have many challenges ahead. We cannot allow obstructionists to exist. We can't underestimate this situation. We can figure it out. Our party still holds 130 out of 250 seats in the Assembly. We've got the power. However, to reform the Constitution, we must receive a 2/3 majority in the Grand National Assembly, which is 166 votes, and a simple majority in the Supreme Court, which equates to 6 votes. After we have settled on how to proceed, we will need to talk with our party figures. Our first goal must be to get the 150 signatures needed to start the process. Following the green light from the USP, we will reach out to other party leaders to see if they would back our draft. The last step is to convince the justices of the court. The entire process will take a long time, but we must start working with the Reform Committee to evaluate all possibilities for a new constitution as soon as possible. Oh, holy smokes, man. What the fuck am I reading? We will write a more dramatic constitution with reformists. The new constitution should give the president wide-ranging powers to lead Swordland into the future. We could work with the old guard to protect our existing extensive powers. We will write a more democratic constitution with a reformist. That's what we've been preparing for internally. Don't forget that promise is what got us elected.
Street corner Becky said we will confuse the other side by making them read a novel.
The key thing here will be strengthening the power of the assembly, which we already lead with a majority. Peter nods in agreement. Yes, the divisions of power need to be rebalanced for a better Soderland. According to the initial draft we made with the reformists, there are 2 changes to the Constitution that are not open for discussion. Lucien opens his dossier. First, the Supreme Court will no longer vote on the constitutional amendments. Second, the president's absolute veto will be taken away. This can be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing the current loopholes. I have no problems with these clauses. Let's work with the reformists. No, it's not happening. I have no problem. Sure. Why not? Yes, sir. Lucien nodded. We will form a reform committee together with all parties and start reaching out to all the stakeholders in the assembly and the court for a new constitution. By later in the year, we should have an idea of the reform contents and what the other parties want. Lucien took notes. Another important point, we must be aware of the Lothar-Berg Group. What the fuck are these guys? Lothar-Berg Group is a private non-government organization which assesses the economic conditions of Soderland and the globe. Currently, the spokesman of the organization is Walter Tusk, who was elected by a majority vote. Officially, I guess you can't really read beyond here. I guess I can scroll and you can see it. Officially, Lothar-Berg has a vague structure and limited leadership roles, but the spokesman is considered to be the de facto leader of the entity. The group convenes every 3 months at a Hotel Berg in the village of Lothar. Hotel Berg in the village of Lothar. The meetings are held in secret, but it is reported that topics like the economy, security, and international politics are discussed in detail. Most of its members are unknown. Jesus, it's like a shadowy cabal. Unknown, but comprises of the richest of Swordish society, except for the speaker, Walter Tusk, who acts as the public-facing official spokesperson. Due to the influential nature of the organization and the privacy of their affairs in the eyes of the public, theories have sprung up that the future of Eastern Mercopa is decided at these conferences. We must be aware of the Lothar-Berg Group. The oligarchs convene under this organization to influence economic policy. The oligarchs. Don't let Bernie find out about this. The term oligarchs in the context of Swordland refers to a select group of individuals who, through strategic acquisition of state assets during periods of privatization, have amassed significant wealth and control over extensive industrial networks. These elites, characterized by their economic influence, often emerge from economic liberalization periods, seizing the opportunity to purchase public assets at significantly reduced prices, which I suspect is what Trump is trying to do right now, with Doge completely axing government facilities, government jobs, and departments wholesale, and then tariffs putting the rest of the economy in absolute disaster. I feel like that's all just creating a situation for our oligarchs to purchase up wholesale chunks of our once public institutions. I mean, that's what the charter school movement is all about. And that's just one area of example. They're they're already gonna gut Medicaid, but their intention is to create a privatized version of Medicaid. Like they did Medicare when they have Medicare Advantage, which is just some shitty for-profit version of Medicare. Several oligarchs are known to be affiliated with prominent groups such as Lothar-Berg Group and the National Business Council, further solidifying their influence in both economic and political spheres. However, their reach extends beyond Swordland's borders as they frequently engage in foreign direct investments, thereby securing their financial interest on the international stage. Okay, so we've got some oligarchs to deal with. The oligarchs convene under this organization to influence economic policies. Conrath led it for a long time before falling ill. The new leader is Mr. Walter Tusk. According to reports, some members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely try to bribe us in exchange for special economic protections. I want to work with them anyways. The new administration will be open to talk to businessmen. I won't be bought. It won't happen. I will enter a dialogue with them eventually. We'll need to be diplomatic. We won't let these privileged, greedy, and snobby capitalists run the country. There we go. Let's not underestimate their influence. These are not harmless people either. Oh, I know, Lucien. I know. Lucien looked at Peter. As far as I know, Marcel Coranti has some strong ties to this group. His influence could definitely be an asset for us, but I'm sure he'll want something in return. I'm aware of Mr. Coranti's wide network. That could come in handy. The group's influence is an important force, one we should use to our administration's advantage. That group is dependent on our economic policies. They can't move a finger without us. Tusk is heading the group. We should make sure he is on our side. Who is Coranti? A sordid businessman, philanthropist, entrepreneur who is the son of a media proprietor, Coranth Coranti. He operates the HOS Advertising, the largest advertising company in Swordland. He is also a board member of HOS, Swordland's largest conglomerate operating in the media, energy, construction, trade, and tourism industries. He previously served as the chairman of HOS Resorts, a luxury hotel group with 12 destinations in 8 countries. Okay. Alright, fine. I'm aware of Mr. Coranti's wide network. That could come in handy. We just need to be careful with him. He looks like the lesser evil, but it could very quickly turn out to be the other way around. We need to tread carefully on all sides with all power players to survive our term. I need to underline the seriousness of the situation. The military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state, and as history tells us, a dangerous one too. We do have some room to make structural changes by reducing their budget, for example, but it is quite limited. I want to receive the advice of the military before making up my mind. I don't want to die in prison just like Artur S. Whiskey did. With the Rumberg threat on the horizon, we can't reduce our defense capability and anger our general staff. The military has been nothing but a burden on our society. We should do something drastic like cutting their funding. Well, I'll take their advice first. It is sound to listen to them, but they have very biased and narrow opinions. Nationalism clouds their minds. General Kruger is a specter of the past. Defense Minister Yosef Lancia is more loyal to us compared to General Kruger, a fact that obviously can change our actions. Either way, I see a potential rift between the two since they are clearly of different minds. If we act strongly against the military, both of those guys will unite against us. I agree with Lucio. We need to tread carefully here. Well then, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. This concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Talk to you soon, sir. I will keep in touch. See you both at the next meeting. Lucien and Peter bid their farewells and left. A mysterious amount of smoke was rising far away on the horizon. Oh man, that was a doozy. Whew, that was a doozy, man. Where are these oligarchs located at? Hey, the military wants to be nationalistic. I got a job for you. Let me find out where these oligarchs are hiding first, and then I got a job for you, military. Increasing homelessness in Deer. Read the report. The region of Bergia is among the worst hit regions in Swordland, where homelessness has skyrocketed since the economic recession. The number of homeless in the city of Deer is more likely to have increased by 25% in the last year. The rise was particularly stark among Blutish people, where homelessness increased by 72% in just 6 years. It is reported that homeless among ethnic minorities has reached the highest level in more than a decade. The Blotish minority of the region now account for up to 47% of all homeless people there. Jesus, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, it's 39% Blotish. Low production in Anglan. The report calls attention to alarmingly low levels of productivity growth in the region of Anglan, where there are also high rates of food insecurity, malnutrition, and rural poverty in parts of the region. Whoa, what the fuck happened there? Oh, I just zoomed out to the... I don't know how I did that. I mean, this is my joint right here. This is my hood, Swordland. What's going on around here? Valgazlan? Democratic Republic of Valgazlan. Oh, there's all sorts of fucking... Wait, why are there... What's going on off map? The Arcasian Treaty Organization. United States of Colrad. Okay. Well, I guess there's not much going on. Guild of Royal Allies. I guess there's not much going on over there. Alright, let's read the logistics issues in the capital. In a recent update from Wholesword, the mayor expressed growing concerns about escalating traffic congestion linked to the city's burgeoning population and rapid urban expansion. A logistics report pinpointed the significant increase in traffic volume and the subsequent slowing of transportation routes as the capital's most pressing issue. The mayor stressed the lack of a comprehensively designed large-scale land-based logistics hub serving as a converging point for all transporters is exacerbating the issues faced by domestic transporters. Given Wholesword's status as a sprawling metropolis, the current situation where transporters have established separate centers across 10 different districts is scattered and inefficient. Sounds like the perfect opportunity to build some trains. I got a lot of reports to read here. Hold on a second. Let me go back to here. Lack of investment in Arvory. The mayor of Arvory, Eric Neal, reports a lack of adequate infrastructure around Arvory, which seriously undermines the attractiveness of Arvory's investment climate. Foreign investors, particularly from Agnolia, are becoming hesitant to invest in the city. Meanwhile, according to data published by the National Business Council, around 19% of the company's total expenditures in Anglan is absorbed by logistics costs, while in peer regions, this figure is below 10%. Man, you guys are eating shit all the way around, man. What did the previous president do? Was Donald Trump running this place? Gas field discovery. The Swordish Grid Corporation's field research team has announced new gas field discovering in Narble. These discoveries could enhance the city's energy supply and play a significant role in the broader energy landscape of Swordland. Preliminary analysis of the yield and quality of these fields is currently underway. The corporation will soon release a comprehensive report outlining extraction feasibility. The economic impact of these findings, particularly regarding potential growth and job creation in the region, are noteworthy. Okay, so that's a bit of good news. Port of Lockhaven loses importance. The latest marine traffic reports show the Port of Lockhaven is no longer the busiest of the Mercopa continent, falling behind to the 3rd position. While this is a negative indicator for our administration, Lockhaven still has the potential to shine again as a major trading city. The Port of Lockhaven is the largest port in Swordland and holds enormous importance for the economy, particularly as the main distribution center linking the capital and inner parts of Swordland to the rest of the world. The major port city will hopefully keep supporting a possible economic upturn in the entire country if investment projects succeed. Nature Preservation March. The Nature Preservation Foundation in Liren has organized a march promoting ecological practices and nature preservation. The event witnessed significant participation, demonstrating the local community's commitment to environmental issues. This peaceful demonstration has successfully raised awareness about Liren's unique biodiversity and environmental challenges. Local authorities have noted the event and the message conveyed by the foundation. Okay, well, that's cool. I've got no problem with that. GNA prepares Tourism Act. The Grand National Assembly in Whole Sword is readying the Swordland Tourism and Cultural Preservation Act. This act aims to enhance the cultural and tourism appeal of several cities, including Boren, Ribery, Lackhaven, and Rika and Benfey, and a collective push to make Swordland a global tourism destination. Okay. Police report on HSU fire. A fire broke out in the academic administration building of Holsford State University. The initial report from the chief of police in Holsford indicates a near complete destruction of employee records from 1890 until now, along with original copies of internationally recognized academic research destroyed. The extent of the damage is worse than expected. That sounds suspicious. That sounds very suspicious. Public opinion report. People's views on the need for the democratic reform in the government structure has changed over the last decade. Reformist propaganda from the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, Franz Richter, have resulted in a massive increase in the demand for democratic reforms. It is estimated that currently 55% of the population supports the reformist ideas. PFJP is a political party in Swordland which has promoted both liberalism and social democracy in the country. It is led by Franz Richter and currently is the main opposition to the Grand National Assembly in Swordland. Okay. General Staff gathers. The General Staff convened right after the election to congratulate our victory. All branches of the Swordish Armed Forces were represented in the meeting that took place at Camp Strongarm with massive security measures. The chief of the armed forces, Valken Kruger, made a public press statement highlighting the increasing chances of military confrontation in the eastern Merkopa and requested support to strengthen the military. I don't know about that. Oh man, we got another meeting. Whew. You guys, you're sitting in on all these meetings. Do you feel like you're in the cabinet? Do you feel like you're in a presidential cabinet? It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of meetings. It's one meeting after the other. Simon Hull, Gus Manger, and the names too, man. Lilius Graff were about to arrive at the White Room for our scheduled economy meeting. This was the room in the Maroon Palace where all important meetings were held. Two assistants arrived first carrying a heavy projector. They stood with it by the door, waiting for the ministers to enter. From the hallway, I heard Lilius Graff's voice. She was using the patient, almost motherly tone she often took in heated arguments. Gus, do you really think that such an economically advanced area is more in need of investment than Anglan? Lilius, my interior minister, strode in. She was clad in shades of brown and beige, the only spot of color a bright yellow Dasnurist cross on her necklace. Gus followed close behind. Don't be an idiot, Lilius. What about the unemployment crisis in the greater Holsword and Gelsland regions? Wait, what about the unemployment crisis in the greater Holsword and Gelsland regions are going through? These areas are our economic heartland. Gus curled his hands into fists. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development's temper hadn't changed since his days in the Alfonso administration, but neither had his reputation for getting things done. His far-reaching network of connections was unlike any other. Simon Hull quickly stepped between the two ministers without looking at either of them. He cleared his throat. What, is this the kid of the president that was kicked out? Good morning, Mr. President. What is this debate about? Just a disagreement in internal economic strategy, President Rain. Not sure if I would call it just a disagreement, Lilas. Let's begin the presentation. Lilas, can you explain the situation? Gus, can you enlighten me? Lilas, can you explain the situation? Mr. Manger proposes that we should invest in already developed regions. Meanwhile, many cities like Anglin and Linkirk or Avery still don't have basic commodities delivered in time. Could you elaborate? Of course, the argument is simple. Anglin is our weakest region, both in terms of economic and social support. We should support the city of Avery and its respected mayor. How impartial can you really be? Simon was observing the argument. Why are you questioning her impartiality? I agree, Anglin needs investment. What are your thoughts, Simon? I have to say that I agree with both of them. Oh, come on, you little bitch. You little fence-riding bitch. What do you mean I agree with both of them? Anglin is in need of investments, and we can improve the greater Holsword and Gilslin. I want to avoid this topic now since we will talk about it in the future. I would rather first fully brief you on our current economic situation. Simon pulled a silk handkerchief out of his pocket and briefly wiped his glasses. My staff and I have comprehensively analyzed every aspect of... He was interrupted by a groan from one of the assistants by the door, both of whom were now visibly struggling to hold up a heavy projector. Oh, you can put that there. He pointed below the painting of President Sol. Oh, that's Sol. This is Hole. My mistake. The assistants placed the projector next to the table and installed a white screen on the wall. Leave now. I mean, thank you, please leave now. The assistants left the cabinet room. I was reminded that Simon had never quite had a way with people, but his facility with numbers had made him the most sought-after economic specialist in Swordland. Simon started looking for his slides. He always carried documentation around with him. I'll wait. I'll be patient. Lilas leaned to the table and spoke. Simon, what happened to the new police station construction in Estord? While going through his briefcase, he paused for a moment to answer. It got stalled due to a government property boundary issue. I have been meaning to look into it. Or I've been meaning to look at it. I can take a look at that one. Estord needs all the security help it can get. Sure, more time for me to spend on analysis. His eyes glittered when he finally found the slides he was looking for. There have been some developments about the Swordish Wren losing further value today. We have been trying to stabilize it with the central bank. The recession of '51 put enormous pressure on the economy, resulting in the collapse of the value of our currency. That kind of sounds familiar too. The entire situation was a significant cause of concern for our administration. Since economics is your forte, Mr. Rain, it is possible that you might already be aware of the data. I could still explain the current economic situation in better detail. What is our GDP and debt situation? What is our unemployment and inflation rate? What's the status? Well, let's go with that one. Unemployment and inflation rate. Unemployment has skyrocketed. It is now at a staggering 16%, and the inflation rate is at a relatively high 10%. God damn. Unemployment is increasing crime and drug use. We need to get people off the streets. The inflation isn't helping our average citizen either. What is our GDP and debt situation? Our current GDP is 310 billion Swordish Wren, and the national debt is 427 billion. It's still hard to fathom that we lost nearly 150 billion in wealth. These past 3 years were tough. What is the status of the recession? The economy has been in a recession of about -6% in the past year. The average GDP has dropped from SR 454 per capita to SR 359 from 1951 to now. I'm guessing SR stands for Swordish Wren. So $15,000 per capita to $10,000 per capita is what I'm getting at there, or what I'm reading from there. The administration's success depends on our ability to stop the recession. The sooner we can reach a GDP growth, the better. I have all the information needed. Let's move on to the economic strategy. Simon scattered the paper stack in front of him in an orderly manner and took a final look at his notes before clearing his throat. As you can see, the situation is alarming, but not everything is negative. The extensive privatization program of Alfonso and key foreign direct investments left us a large budget surplus which we can use to stabilize the crisis. The primary subject we need to settle on is what general path we will take in our term. Solonomics-based nationalization happened in the 30s, and Alfonso's privatization began at the end of the 40s. What will our administration focus on? One of our main promises was to promote a planned economy to stop the recession. To be frank, I still don't think this was a good idea. We shouldn't go back to Solonomics. It's the reason the recession. It is the reason of the recession. Self-sufficiency will help us in tough times. What? Economic systems without regulations are bound to fail. What are the consequences of the free market? The more of the economy we control, the better we can manage the recession. What are the downsides of a planned economy? Well, let's see what are the downsides of a free market strategy. There are not many, are you kidding me? But one could say that we are much more likely to be influenced by the world economy. It is important to think about this subject because the upswings of the world economy will reflect good on ours too. Yes, and when the global economy crashes, we go down with it. The structural problems of Solonomics were going to lead to a recession according to the predictions at the time anyways. Either way, if we pick one of the doctrines, we retain the option to make economic choices on a case-by-case basis. That is, however, not recommended in my point of view. The last thing we need is a chaotic economic plan. Finally, something we can both agree on. There is another important point which has direct impact on our economy: superpowers. We might have won the election, but I am still against aligning ourselves with the superpowers. Economically speaking, we aren't as tied to United Contana as we are to Arcasia, so a decision to align with the East is much more difficult to accomplish. We must be very cautious. There are schemes being devised about Swordland. We cannot give in to their wants now or in the future. Otherwise, our country will turn into a pawn. I want you to reconsider your promise to align with United Contana. I don't know anything about these fucking places, guys. I was asked to choose somebody to align to without even knowing what the fucking map looked like. I have made a promise to the people of Swordland. I won't back down. Don't worry, I won't let United Contana control Swordland. There is a revolution that was started by the United Cortana, a permanent revolution, and Swordland must be a part of it. You may be right. Let's see what the future brings. Let's look at Cortana. United Contana is a federalist socialist republic situated on the continent of Contana and considered a superpower by the world. It is a union of multiple socialist republics spanning Contana. The country is a one-party state governed by the Communist Party with Kiev as its capital. It is led by Chairman Leon Malniev. Not even going to try to say that one. United Contana had its roots in the 1907 revolution, when the revolutionaries of the Rotsky, led by Maliev, overthrew Contana. Okay, so basically that's the Bolshevik Revolution. Maliev replaced the market economy with a command economy, which led to a period of rapid industrialization and collectivization in the United Contana. During this period, rapid economic development resulted in dramatic improvements in the average standard of living, particularly in urban areas. The country saw major reforms under the ideology of Malievism. It promoted the idea of permanent revolution abroad and supported socialist revolutions in nearby states with early stage capitalism. United Contana grew its influence around the world with Malinevist ideas and rose to become a superpower of the world. United Contana is currently locked in a fierce global ideological battle with Arcasia, so that's basically Russia and America's Cold War. Both powers are in a race of influence around the globe. United Contana has been growing its influence around the world by supporting less fortunate nations with their problems, supporting revolutionaries and unions abroad. They have already influenced several revolutions to occur, which led to the founding of new Marxo-Leninist nations. That's literally Marxist-Leninism. The nation has a very strong economy. Okay, what was the other guys? Tell me about Arcasia. The Republic of Arcasia, commonly referred to as Arcasia, is a constitutional republic situated in the western Maricopa and widely acknowledged as a global superpower. The nation's capital, Ventry City, serves as a financial center of the world. President Dwight Walker, a distinguished figure with Rumburgian heritage, presently leads the country. A modern day Arcasia's foundation dates back to 1823, following the overthrow of King Jonathan the 13th, or the 12th rather, ruling the Kingdom of Arcas by the determined Arcasian revolutionaries known as the Éclaireurs de la Liberté, led by the charismatic and visionary leader Louis Beaumont. This catalyzed a period of global conflict called the Century of Revolutions. Emerging as a superpower at the close of the century, Arcasia expanded its influence by championing capitalism on a global scale. The nation heavily relies on its formidable military strength and has engaged in numerous military operations and security pacts around the world. Boy, doesn't that sound familiar. As a highly developed country, Arcasia secured its position as the world's largest economy by nominal GDP at the start of the 20th century. This era witnessed Arcasian companies becoming dominant global players, Arcasian universities transforming into world-class educational institutions, and Arcasian citizens enjoying unparalleled political freedoms. However, the nation also contends with significant income inequality between rural and urban areas and faces criticism for alleged human rights abuses. Arcasia's economic power is currently locked in a fierce ideological battle with Katana, all that shit. So I guess in the prologue I said I was going to unite or ally with Katana. And these people are like, you may want to look at the fucking capitalist guy. I made a promise to the people of Shoreland I won't back down. Don't worry, I won't let unite because I won't let them control us. I hope we can show, not tell. When the time comes, I hope you'll make the right decision for our own good. We should attract more foreign direct investment, Mr. President. We saved the country from a full-on depression in 1952 and 1953 by signing lucrative trade deals with nations such as Rizia, Lispia, and Kinal. Simon cleared his throat again. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Minister Whiskey will be in charge of informing you on those types of foreign policy decisions. I thought he was in jail. You must first decide on our internal economic plan. Simon put forward a legal document outlining the possibilities with both economic doctrines listed. The cabinet members looked at me. We have to thank Sol and his planned economy for the boom. It clearly shows the success of the system. Let's finish what Alfonso started with the capitalist free market reforms. His path was going to enrich Swordland. Well, why are we looking at a recession then? There's a reason that guy isn't the president anymore and you are, and all of these fucking cities are in a state of destitution. Would a planned economy focus bring us stronger allies? What's our long-term economic schedule? Picking a construction company, trade relations, tax reform, and welfare privatization or nationalization would be some of them. We must choose wisely and remember that the free market economy in all forms is the future of the world. I wouldn't be so sure. Would a planned economy bring us stronger allies? It would make United Katana diplomatically look at our country in a more positive light. They are proponents of the planned economy. The influence of Arcasia has the world economy on the world economy. Jesus, I fucked that sentence up. The influence Arcasia has on the world economy is extensive. Our economic strategy should be based on internal reasoning, though. We have to thank Sol and his planned economy for the boom. It clearly shows the success of the system. Precisely the reason why we should stick to the old system. State planning and regulation both showed great success in the 30s. Only for a limited time, until even Tarkin Sol himself discovered the limits of the system. The slowdown began during his rule, remember? Let's move on to the conclusion. What are your final thoughts, Mr. President? Critical institutions must remain in state control. We must be fully responsible for delivering services. We should look at opportunities like privatization to create financial resources. A market economy doesn't require much guidance and could help us attract foreign capital. It's hard to fully agree or disagree with these options. So, I don't know what the difference is between these two. A market economy doesn't require as much guidance and can help us attract foreign capital. So this is just like, this is the same thing as this. We should look at opportunities like privatization and to create financial resources. I don't know. The previous guy fucked up, right? Like, Alfonso, he was the one that started the privatization thing. Why did that lead to all these cities being in ruin? I don't like the idea of this. A market economy doesn't require much guidance. Like, we have situations where a lot of our cities, we have high unemployment and shit. Like, laissez-faire capitalism only, and it mentioned it in the thing I read, that style of market capitalism exacerbates income inequality. That's not going to solve our sky-high unemployment. It is hard to fully agree or disagree with these options. Like, ideally, it would be social democracy. It would be like a mix of the two. You would have your state-run institutions, and you would have your private, your free market. And you would regulate your free market. I mean, that's literally what every country does. I'm gonna go at 1. Few could be, and it wouldn't be negative, but either way, you make the choices. So what will our general economic plan promote? Promote a free market economy or promote a planned economy as we promised? Not sure if we made the right decision here. Gus looked worried. Now that there is clarity on which direction we are heading, I will work on a good plan accordingly. This concludes our meeting. At our next gathering, we will talk about the upcoming infrastructure investment plan. Now the economic decision or direction was taken, the ministers dispersed for lunch at the Maroon Palace. Oh boy, what the fuck? What's going on in Sarna? Promising agriculture growth. For the first time in 3 years, the agricultural output of Sarna has increased. Many experts link increased output to both a drop in temperature and new farming practices that have been adopted in recent years. Additionally, farmers are now accessing more generous credit allowances from the government that were left over from the Alfonso administration. The Ministry of Agriculture reports that the region's agriculture industry has the potential to become a powerhouse in the future if investments persist. Is this game ever going to give me the option to, like, direct specific investments? News. Wait. Oh my god. There's so much reading. There's so much reading! The Halter Pulse Tourism, a beacon of hope for Swordland. Fire strikes Whole Sword State University Archive. A committee for reforms. Campaign bill. Fair representation in the assembly. Rain spoke of hope and change. This is the Whole Sword Post. Swordland today, fueling Swordland's tomorrow. Economy meeting held in Whole Sword. President Anton Rain. The new president has been sworn into office by Chief Justice Orso Hawker. Another great win for the USP and Anton Rain, who managed to get 37% of the general vote. Oh, it was a Bill Clinton win. The first congratulations came from Kisaro Kaibner of the National Front Party, which finished third in the electoral race and entered the assembly. The runner-up of the general... Okay, sure. Wait, what? I thought I read all 3. Yeah. economists. Armadine Industries pioneering electronics. Alfonso abandons Lothar-Berg's exclusive conclave. In a stunning development, former president and current chairman of Gassam, Ewald Alfonso, has announced his departure from the exclusive Lothar-Berg group. His decision has been fueled by growing disillusionment with the interests of the secretive organization. Alfonso has been quoted saying he's intent on charting his own course away from Lothar-Berg. However, this abrupt exit from the group only a few months after his defeat in the 1950 elections marks another political setback for the man who led Swordland into its deepest recession since 1951. In Solonomics, a new era begins for Swordland, and it holds many economic questions that will need to be answered by President Rain. Our top economic analysts, with consultation from the National Business Council, have released a comprehensive report on the performance of the past 20 years. A certain section of the report stands out. The last two 4-year plans of planned doctrine created a budget deficit and a clear reduction in industrial production output. This was specifically due to mismanagement and inefficient bureaucracy. The year-on-year growth budget balance, budget balance and production index value indicates that the two most productive consecutive years had been when the privatization program of Alfonso began in 1949. Oh, isn't that a surprise? Restructure the infrastructure. After the recent success of mega infrastructure projects from United Cantana and Volksland, the world is warming up to the idea as a source of growth and employment. But is there a truth to this success? Our investment analysis indicates that infrastructure investments can be fruitful in the short term, but even more so in the long term, especially if they focus on linking economic nodes that business and logistics depend on. Now, why can't, like, the economists in our world say this kind of shit? I guess they kind of do sometimes. You'd think that we would have had much bigger investments in our infrastructures to connect our major economics hubs, but we're still running fucking lines from the 1950s. It still pisses me off that every major metro area of Texas isn't connected by high-speed rail. Freezing temperatures recorded. Wait, what is this? The Lockhaven Times. Swedish National League starts season soon. Support for Assembly campaign finance bill. Oh man, radical. Jeez, I guess these guys just let their positions be known right in the byline. Alfonso ditches Lothar-Berg, a sign of discord, nationalist violence. A man in his 20s has been beaten with baseball bats in paramilitary-style attacks in Arvory. The man claims to have been attacked because of his ethnic background as Agno-Sordish citizen. He was approached during a walk at the park by a group of right-wing extremists who are suspected of being regulars at the local National Front Party office. The group inflicted injuries to his legs and arms, police said. The man was brought to the hospital after making his way to a nearby property. The police service of Arvory said it was a brutal attack for which there is no justification. There is no place for attacks such as this in our society, said Eric Neal, mayor of Arvory, and called for unity and urged restraint from the populace. Unearth the Zam incident. Decades after the infamous Zam incident, new unconfirmed information emerges that challenges the official state narrative. As per anonymous former Black Battalion sources, the incident was not an act of foreign aggression to destabilize Swordland, but a government conspiracy to gain influence. Okay. Another USP president. How many times will people fall for the same trap? We've seen this before with Colonel Sol, who supposedly saved the country and brought stability at times of chaos. His stability, however, meant life of oppression. Alright, okay, so we see what that's all about. Geopolitico. Remember, I guess this is news from around the world, I suppose. Alright. God damn, this is a lot. Didn't I read these new reports? Is there a passage of time in this? Projected economic growth It's just a diagonal line going to the ground. Government budget. What, the government only has $8? What am I supposed to do with $8? Infrastructure report in Linkurg. The recent collapse of the tourism industry in Linkurg has led to a reduction in trade traffic and road maintenance. The road network is currently in service but is in need of substantial improvement. Ports, country roads, and bridges similarly suffer from a lack of investment. Firms doing businesses in Linkurg report a significant shortage of warehousing facilities, particularly refrigerated facilities, with implications both for the transportation system and the ability to serve the population's basic food and health needs. Oh, Lackhaven, you again. Sea rig maintenance? What is this one? Another infrastructure report in Gelsword? The recession led to a reduction in rail assets, with more than a fifth of the railway network, itself antiquated, being mothballed in recent years. While the main lines of the railway network are currently in service, increasing demand in goods from Gelsword to the capital is pushing the network to its limits. The rail signaling system in the region dates from the middle of the last century and is also in need of improvement. Oh boy. Increasing unemployment. Number of people filing for unemployment in Morna continues to rise as the recessions continue. The change in the economic conditions is historic and stunning in its speed, said the mayor of Morna. In the aftermath of the crisis of 1951, the unemployment rate in Morna rose to 9% in the following year. The last 6 months have almost erased all gains in unemployment over the last 2 decades. What's going on over here? Booming wine demand? In Boren, there has been a significant surge in demand for local wines. This sudden increase has led to a busy season for vineyards and wineries across the region. The cause of the rise in demand comes from international interest, and it is certainly driving economic activity in the city. Wineries are ramping up production to meet the increased demand. A continued trend could further stimulate the region's economy. Okay, well, that's good news. What else do I have? Meeting on the media strategy. Oh man, I don't want to do that. Weak transportation links. Guess you can't really. Oops. I guess what I can do is just gonna put myself here in the frame. Currently active situations. Weak transportation links. Sortless transportation network has been neglected for years, resulting in outdated and poorly maintained infrastructure. This not only affects movement of goods and services, but also slows down the daily commute for citizens. The lack of investment in this critical area has led to a decrease in efficiency, higher transportation costs, and longer commute times. Unemployment crisis. Read plenty on that one. Tax evasion. What the fuck? It has come to the attention of the government that serious tax evasion practices are being exercised by important businesses in other parts of the populace. This is a concerning issue that needs to be addressed in order to ensure a fair and stable tax system for all citizens. Yeah, it also gets us tax revenue to tackle these other issues. Decreased trade volume. Previous government attempts to solidify trade relations were unsuccessful, which combined with the effects of the recession resulted in a significant decrease in trade volume. Without effective measures to address underlying issues driving the decrease, the country may face continued economic challenges. All of this sounds so prescient. Bergia economy plummets. Lauren Rust Belt. Angland lacks investment. Stagnated production. Groony, what barely maintains growth? Tourism industry at average activity level. How do I address these issues? I guess I imagine that as I go on through, I guess, these meetings and stories, I choose policies that will eventually address some of these concerns. Oh man, this is a hefty burrito. This is a hefty burrito here. I wasn't expecting that, but it's interesting. It is interesting. It's my journal. Decision was made to promote a planned economy. I declared my intention to work with the reformists for the constitutional reforms. Okay, I guess that's... Feel free to take notes to help you. This is a hefty burrito. Oh, and these are all the notes from turn 1. How do I end the turn then? I guess I have to go through all of the meetings before I can end the turn.
Genetic Memory Farm said probably because people are the same and fall prey to the same ignorance over and over. We had the Great Depression for similar circumstances to what we see today, for the same reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, what is this saying? History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme or something like that? Yeah, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. Is there no save? Oh, dude. If I have to come back to this and start all of this over from the beginning... Oh, boy.
Street Corner Becky said lol.
It says there's a checkpoint. Load last checkpoint. I don't know what that means.
Genetic Memory Farm said I would say it has sequels.
It looks like there's a... It looks like there was a save. There's an autosave. Okay, there's an autosave. I feel okay then with exiting to desktop. Oh boy. I won't feel so... Oops. I won't feel so okay about that if I turn this on next time and I have to go through all that shit again.
Street Corner Becky said that would suck.
Not that I disliked any of that or anything, but it was a hefty load. That was a lot of reading. This game has a lot of reading. My throat
Street
is...
Corner Becky said, remember that novel you read? Here it is again.
Man, I went through my water because my throat is getting so parched from reading so much. Interesting game, I guess. I can't wait until I could actually play a little bit more of it. But it's an interesting read, if nothing else. Who made this game? Torpor Games. Oops. Let's see what these guys are all about. Actor is currently working on Suzerain and the Conformist, set in the same universe. Well, what the fuck? They've got their own like cinematic universe going on. What is the Conformist? Suzerain came out 4 years ago. Is this one out yet, or is this something they're currently working on? The Conformist. The Conformist is an upcoming semi-sandbox narrative role-playing game currently in development. Players guide a propagandist working for the government of Swordland, navigating the harsh political environment in the capital after a civil war and discovering their own path. These guys, who are these people that made this, man? These guys are fucking hyper nerds.
Genetic Memory Farm said I have heard the word torpor since I was playing World of Darkness games. Vampires are werewolf or mage.
I didn't even know it was a word. Berlin. Oh, okay. Founded in Berlin in 2019. Oh, relatively new guys. Torpor Games creates thought-provoking entertainment that broadens horizons, shifts perspective, and challenges morality through engaging and provocative experiences. That makes sense, Berlin. That would make sense that they would have all of their, I guess, their narrative criticisms, I suppose, of communism or socialism is probably painted through their own personal history of East and West Germany. Combining various disciplines and experiences, the team works on critically acclaimed, community-boosted, financially successful suzerain upcoming The Conformist set in the same fictional universe. Okay. Small team. And some advisors. CEO of Dentech. What the fuck is Dentech? Okay, it makes sense that it would be, I guess, German-based. Kingdom of Rizia DLC. Oh, that must be... Oh, yeah, it is DLC for Suzerain. Okay, well, curious. Just curious about who these guys were, where they were out of. If I would have guessed without any other sort of indicator, I would have assumed that they were Eastern European. I would have assumed like Hungary or some shit, or Slovenia. All right, that's going to be it for me tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate it, as always. I work tomorrow, so I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow, but I'll be back on Tuesday. So, hope you all have a good rest of your weekend. I will see you back on Tuesday, hopefully. And if not, I'll see you when I see you. Hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Later, everyone.
Street Corner Becky said night all.